This is Caitlin, your host of the NoSleep4Dramas Podcast, where we get no sleep and survive on coffee to watch just one more episode at night. All right, welcome back to another episode of the NoSleep4Dramas Podcast, and we are back with your guys' favorite episode, one of your favorite episodes, and I like talking about it, and that is my watch list. What am I currently watching? Now, look, guys, we have a problem here because April was the month that I clean out my watch list, which I think I was pretty successful at. I wasn't 100% successful. I came into May with a couple other dramas to finish up. That didn't happen yet in May. I'm recording this on May 10th. I have not watched a drama episode since the beginning of May because I've just been so busy, which historically May has always been busy for me, but it's ridiculous how I'm not watching dramas. What, Zoe? I literally haven't watched a drama episode, which is problematic because I have podcast recordings this month that I need to watch. I came into May with 4 dramas on my watch list. Well, technically, 3 dramas, a variety show, and an anime, right? I was gonna start out the month by just finishing up what I didn't finish in April, which included 2 dramas and an anime, because the rest were airing and whatever. Tell me why I have not finished any of the things I was planning on finishing and yet added 7 to 8 other things on my watch list. I'm currently up to 10 things on my watch list, which isn't good because I haven't even started almost any of the dramas I needed to start for podcast recordings, let alone the things that are airing in May. My watch list is going to be out of control. And May is the worst month to do it. I just don't know how this happened. I don't know how it happened because I just kept clicking play on things, I guess. Man, I'm going to have to prioritize things though because I need to finish stuff and watch stuff for podcast recordings that are coming up in May. Mostly my podcast, really. I'm not really guesting on people's podcasts this month. It's mostly people coming and guesting on my podcast. So I need to get it together. But either way, we have now ballooned my watch list up to over 10, maybe 10, something like that, around 10 dramas and anime. It's out of control, and I can foresee it just continuing to get out of control. I don't know what I'm going to finish this month. Well, I technically sort of do with the podcast recordings, but still, it's going to be out of control. Either way, you're going to have a lot that I'm going to be talking about in this episode because, again, I've added a ton of dramas to my watch list in the last 9 days. I literally clicked play on a drama yesterday that I should not have any business clicking play on. It has nothing to do with my podcast or anything. I just have been wanting to watch it for a really long time. So I click play on it. Jeez, it's Caitlin's out of control right now. I don't know. I'm all over the place. But this is my watch list episode. This is what I'm currently watching in no particular order. If I've clicked play on it, it is in this list. We'll see how much I actually complete. If you have never been on a watch list episode, this is how it goes. I go through everything I'm currently watching. I tell you what I think about it. If I have never talked about it before, I introduce it to you in terms of cast and synopsis and things. I tell you if something's on the back burner because I have other priorities. If it's on my current watch list, I talk about it. And usually the order is I talk about Korean dramas first, then I go into any variety shows from Korea, then I go into Chinese content, first the dramas, then any variety shows, and it's J-dramas, anime, variety shows from Japan, and then it's Taiwanese dramas, and then lastly I talk about Thai dramas, and then after that if I'm watching a show from another country other than Asia like USA, I talk about that at the end. It's very rare I talk about USA shows, but once in the blue moon I will. Do I have room right now to even check out an American show? Absolutely not. Let's get this episode started. We are moving into Korean dramas. I'm currently watching 2. The one that I recently started that I am watching for a podcast recording on my own podcast, I will have a guest to review this with, is Time Between Dog and Wolf. This is an older Korean drama. It came out in 2007. I've never seen this drama. My guest has. We are going to be reviewing this drama. I watched the first episode of this drama I like it so far. The opening scene definitely draws you in. You can definitely tell it's a 2007 drama. Yes, there are dramas, older dramas I have not watched. There's many of them, which is why I'm bringing Carol on my show because she's probably watched more dramas than I have, and that will make me watch older dramas. This drama, the synopsis for this, it's about a guy who sees his mom murdered in front of him in Thailand because his mother was a prosecutor, I want to say. I think she was a prosecutor. She gets murdered by gang member in front of him. He gets adopted by a NIS agent and brought back to Korea. And later on, when he's older, because he was a kid when this happened, when he's older, he himself becomes an NIS agent and he goes undercover and basically tries to get revenge for his mother's murder through this gang, all while meeting up with this girl that he had a crush on as a kid, and they re-meet again as adults. And he also is working alongside the NIS's son, the NIS agent who adopted him, his son. He's also working alongside them. So it's a trio. It's two guys and a woman. And it's interesting because mostly the first episode is his childhood, like what is happening in Thailand as a child. You don't get a lot of the adult stuff except for the first or second scene, and then they go back in time and explain the childhood part of it. I can see a lot of drama happening with this because there's a lot of connections with the trio of leads. Like for example, the woman who is, I'm assuming, is going to be the romantic partner or the romantic lead of the kid whose mom was killed. She's the daughter of the guy who killed his mom. And we find out in the first episode. So that's going to be interesting when that's revealed to all the different characters. And also, he's undercover. So no one really knows who he actually is, at least in this gang, I'm assuming. Currently, at the end of the first episode, he hasn't even become an agent yet. So I haven't even gotten to the part where he goes undercover, but the synopsis on MDL says he goes undercover for this. This sounds like it's going to be messy. It's going to be drama. It's going to be revenge filled. I'm sure Mok Jong is going to come into it at some point. This stars Lee Joon-gi, who plays the kid, the guy whose mom was killed, and he's out for revenge against the gang. Also stars Nam Sung-mi, who plays the woman who her father was a leader of this gang. And then Jung Hyung-ho, who is the son of the NIS agent who adopts Lee Joon-gi's character. So it's them, they're the trio. And then you have like prominent veteran actors like Lee Gi-young, who plays the NIS agent who adopts Lee Joon-gi's character. You have Sung Ji-roo, who plays a prominent role. You have Choi Jae-sung, who plays the gang member or one of the gang members. I mean, a lot of prominent veteran actors in this 2007 drama. You recognize a ton of them, really. I'm curious to see what other secrets are going to be real because it can't just be everybody's relationship. I'm sure there's going to be betrayals at some point. I mean, I'm half expecting Jung Kyung Ho's character to like betray somebody because in episode 1 he doesn't really show up even as a kid. Like he's still back in Korea and they just arrived in Korea at the end of the first episodes. I'm wondering if he's going to become jealous and then betray everybody at the end because I can foresee this being a love triangle at some point. I'm assuming Jung Kyung Ho's character is going to probably be hunting down Lee Joon-gi's character at some point. I mean, you have these crime tropes come in. If you've watched so many crime dramas as me, you know some of these tropes are eventually going to come into play. But I'm glad I'm watching this. I'm enjoying the first episode. I'm curious to see where this story goes. It just has a lot of stuff I love. You got crime, you got Mokjong, you have shootouts, you have gang stuff. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one. I'm sure it's going to get crazier and crazier as I watch it. That was Time Between Dog and Wolf. I'm really curious what other secrets are going to be revealed. The second one, I am still watching Buried Hearts. This has gone on the back burner a little bit, which I really need to just finish it. Partly for two reasons. One, I needed to finish other stuff. Also, I'm just behind, and even though I have not been spoiled on the ending, I have been spoiled on people's feelings about the ending, which I think is affecting me a little bit on finishing this. I want to finish it though, because I'm enjoying it where I'm at the moment. I'm also really curious of why people are mad at the end because I have not been spoiled on the end of this, which I don't know how I've not been spoiled on the end of Buried Hearts, but I haven't. And I'm only 3 or 4 episodes into this drama. So where I'm at in the drama, I'm still enjoying it. So I don't want to drop something if I'm still enjoying it. Now, if I get to episode 10 or something and I'm not enjoying it anymore, then I'll drop it. But right now, I'm still enjoying Buried Hearts, even though it's kind of on the back burner right now. I'm really curious why people are mad at it. That's why I want to finish it. And I just haven't had time to. I just have not had time to finish Buried Hearts. I'm also somewhat behind on it. I still have a good 10 episodes to watch before I finish it at this point. I have a lot to do on watching it, but I haven't dropped Buried Hearts. I'm still liking it, but it's on the back burner a bit because I needed to finish other things due to podcast recordings and just getting things off my watch list. That was Buried Hearts. I haven't made much progress on that. And those are the only 2 Korean dramas I'm currently watching. I have many Korean dramas I'm clicking play on in the next 2 or 3 weeks, though. So that list is going to get longer for sure. Next thing I'm going to talk about is the Korean variety shows I'm currently watching. I'm still watching only one, and that is Please Take Care of My Refrigerator Season 2. This show just added even more episodes on Netflix. We were up to 24, and then I think it went up to 35, 40, something like that. It's now not ending until September at this point. Who knows if September is actually ending? I might be watching this one for a while. Am I mad about that? No. I'm not mad because I'm enjoying this show a lot. I am behind. I'm kind of just leisurely watching this though because I know that I have time to finish it. I'm just enjoying it. It's just a fun time. It's, again, one of those shows that I kind of just click play on when I don't want to think too much after like a long week of work or something. But just be ready. This show is going to be on my watch list for a while. I really don't know the plan. I don't know if they just are continuing to add episodes and I'm going to be watching this show forever, or they actually are going to end season 2 at some point because I think on MDL it still says season 2. The title still has season 2 in it. My assumption is eventually it's going to end and then it might have a season 3 if it's still popular. I'm not sure. Also, we have Culinary Class Wars season 2 coming out later this year. If that show already made this show popular and a reboot possible, I'm sure they're just going to keep adding episodes to this because of season 2 coming out, especially after it just won at the Baksen. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Do I remember that name of that award show right? I don't really know. I kind of just said that word. I don't even remember what the award show is called. Let me look that up really quick. Yeah, boxing. I don't even know. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. But yeah, Culinary Class Wars just won at the Boxen. I don't know. Either way, it has added episodes. It's gonna now supposedly end in September, according to Netflix. I'm still enjoying this. It's still a lot of fun to watch, and I just love cooking shows. That's pretty much all I have to say. That was Please Take Care of My Refrigerator Season 2. All right, now we're heading into Chinese dramas, and I've added a ton of Chinese dramas to my watch list. Again, something I really should not have done, but here we are. All right, so first one I'm going to talk about is Love in Pavilion. I watched the first episode of this. It is almost done airing. I think it's ending airing in a week or so. I obviously am really behind. I've only watched the first episode. I enjoyed the first episode though. Love in Pavilion is an airing Chinese drama. It aired from April 28th to now May 15th. It will end on May 15th. It has 36 episodes. You can watch it on iQIYI. It stars Lu Shishi and Lian Zhang, or Zhang Yulan, depending on if you want to use his Chinese name or not. Some of the supporting cast that you might remember or recognize, I guess, is Wu Xuanyi, Zai Xiaowen, Shen Yu, Ding Yuxi. The supporting cast in this is stacked. There's a lot of recognizable names and people in this. What is this short synopsis about? Lu Shishi plays Dongfang Huangzhu. And then Leon Zhang plays Wang Quen Hong Yi, and they are both leaders of these two major families in this world. And in this world, humans and demons are constantly fighting each other. And these two individuals, Lu Shishi and Leon Zhang's character, form an alliance and they start working together to stabilize the world and fight against human and demons, and obviously eventually have a romance. And then the supporting cast also have a bunch of romances. So that's pretty much it. I'm only on episode 1, so I can't give you much details beyond that. I liked the first episode though. I was also planning on watching this show no matter what because I love Liang Zhang and I wanted to support him in this drama because I feel like he has been acting for a really long time and he's always been a good actor in my opinion. And I want this drama to be good and to be received well so he can get his like quote unquote big break and get more lead roles and more roles. And I liked him in the first episode. Granted, he was wearing a mask most of the time in the first episode, so I didn't even see his face. Lu Shishi always does well. She was beautiful as always. I liked her fighting style. I'm curious to see more of them together, how their romance is going to progress, how their chemistry is. They had some great chemistry in the first episode. We'll have to see what happens. Because this is Shansha, of course, there's good CGI, some great fights in the first episode. Could have been better CGI. Like, I've seen better, but I've also seen way worse. I have really no complaints about that. Honestly, going into this, I didn't really look at the cast. I was surprised when all of a sudden a bunch of people popped up in the supporting cast that I wasn't expecting, but that's always fun when that happens. I'm excited to watch more. I'm excited to see how these relationships grow and progress. Obviously, being Shansha, I could always use more magic and CGI and fight scenes. We'll see how this goes, but I really enjoyed the first episode of Love and Pavilion. I can see why a lot of other people are watching it and enjoying it. That was Love and Pavilion. That was the first C-drama that I recently started. The second C-drama I recently started was A Life for a Life. This is a crime drama that I think aired. Yeah, it's this year. I have many reasons why I click play on this. This is a C-drama, a crime C-drama, A Life for a Life. It's airing on iQIYI, or it aired. It is now done. I started this in May after it was over. Main reason why I click play on this was the cast. Shin Hao is the lead. I love him. I will watch him in anything. And then of the main characters, you also have Han Gung, who is a very, very veteran actor. He's really good. Zhang Chu Shi plays the female lead. I like her. I haven't watched a bunch of her dramas, but I like her. And then we have Shi Peng Wan, who I think I've watched like every one of his. He's a younger actor. He was in The Bad Kids with Kin Hao. I was curious to see them team up again and how this would be different. And it is very different. You can't compare this to The Bad Kids. They have different roles. Shin Peng Wan is older, like a lot older, and he plays an older character than a kid. He's not a kid anymore. I went into this because I like the cast, obviously not expecting The Bad Kids, but it was a plus for me that two of these cast members were also in The Bad Kids. I knew how good they could be. I've watched the first episodes. The synopsis of this takes place in the 1980s. Kin Hao is a student of the police academy who is assigned to a detention center, really in the middle of nowhere. They're way up in the mountains. It takes him like 3 hours by bike to get down to town, and there's no cars, so he has to bike. Like, he's in the middle of nowhere at this detention center. And one day, two people come in as suspects to a crime that happened in the town. And the suspects are played by Han Gung and Shi Peng Huan. And one dies and then one escapes. And then for the next 20 years, Kin Hao's character hunts them down and tries to figure out what happened. And basically goes head to head with the person who escapes because he's smarter than he looks, right? So it's a battle of wits, sort of. I saw the trailer for this, and I think that's what kinda also got me curious for it, because not only is the cast great in this, but the trailer did a really interesting job of making it look beautiful in terms of cinematography, but also kinda creepy at the same time, and at least in the first episode, it is sort of creepy. What helps with that is the cinematography. They're in the mountains, you have a lot of fog, they're in the forest in the mountains, so there's trees everywhere. It's isolated, right? You have all of these shots of Kinhao's character moving around the area, either on a bike or walking in the prison, and you don't know what he's going to come upon because he's going through this fog all the time. It adds a creepiness to this. There's an underlying tension so far that you knew something was going to happen, but you didn't know when. You were kind of bracing yourself the entire time. First episode was a little predictable at the end, like, they had a good twist at the end, but I kinda saw it coming in a way, but I could tell by that twist at the end of the episode that there's gonna be more coming down the road, and I'm really curious how that is gonna play out. Also, the relationship between Hangen's character and Shi Pengwan's character when they came into the prison as 2 suspects is really interesting because you can tell that they cared about each other a lot. I'm curious, like, what their relationship is because you don't really know what they are other than they are suspects to a case, and they don't even know at least in episode 1 until the end. You don't know what crime they're in there for until the end. The rollout of twists and information was good in the first episode because you're kind of learning as Kinhao learns. Also, I have to say, because this cast reminds me of the Bad Kids so much, if you have not seen the Bad Kids, highly recommend it. One of the best crime Chinese dramas I've ever watched. You should really, really go watch it. I'm really curious how Kinhao and Zhang Shuxi's characters will be because there's a potential romance with them too. It'd be interesting if they actually did a romance in this because it spans 20 years. I'm sure something's going to happen. They can't just introduce her and nothing happened, but it'll be interesting to see how that relationship will play out because normally in a crime drama, romance might not be the center focus or even a focus. I'm curious though. I'm curious to watch more. I'm excited to watch more. I could foresee this being a really enjoyable crime drama if it just doesn't, I don't know, become mediocre or boring in the middle of it. I don't know. But after the first episode, it was intriguing, and I'm definitely going to be checking out more of that. All right, the next Chinese drama I'm going to talk about is Love Like the Galaxy. I am still watching this. I'm slowly watching it because it's a rewatch. I'm rewatching this for a future podcast review. I'm literally watching 1 to 2 episodes every few days or something. It's really slow because I don't need to finish this on a timeline yet. I need to eventually finish it in like a month and a half or 2 months or something, but I'm slowly watching this. It's not a priority yet, which is why it's kind of taking a back seat while I finish other stuff. But I am still watching it. I am still rewatching episodes, but it's going slow because I don't need to finish it yet. That was Love Like the Galaxy. The next Chinese drama I'm going to talk about is something I just randomly clicked play on. I honestly don't know why. It's not new. It's not like it premiered yesterday. It's an older Chinese drama. I could have waited. And yet here we are. I watched the first episode. That is Lover Stranger. It is a Chinese drama starring Victoria Sung and Oh Hao. And again, this drama has been on my list forever to check out. And for some reason, I decided to check it out last night. It's a 29 episode. I think it aired on iQIYI, Tencent, and Yoku. Like everybody was airing it. It's a crime romance drama. Victoria Sung is the female lead. She plays Lu Kyung Yi, and then she has a fiance played by Oh Hao, and his character name is Ho Yu Zhe. I think that's how you pronounce it. I apologize. Or maybe How You Say. Basically, what happened in the first episode, the first 2 scenes, first off, in this episode, really pull you in. I'm not going to reveal what they are because they're like back to back, like, what are we doing? There's a little bit of time jumping around in the first episode. That was a little confusing because all of a sudden we were in the present and then we went back in the past. I couldn't tell a little bit if it was like actually jumping to the future, like what the timeline is. And honestly, I'm not 100% sure until now anyway, but I think it went backwards in time. So basically, the synopsis of this is you have Victoria Sung's character. She's a really prominent violinist, and she and her fiance are in an avalanche in Japan while they're on vacation. And they both get rescued in this avalanche, and she gets really, really injured. He gets injured, but not as badly. She gets really injured to the point where she has to have plastic surgery. In this avalanche, whatever happened, her face is completely destroyed. You start the scene with like her completely covered in bandages, right? And so eventually she gets this plastic surgery, becomes Victoria Song, and the only way apparently that they could confirm her identity was her passport. That was it. I think it was just the passport. Anyway, she not only had to get plastic surgery, but also she has amnesia. She had really, really bad head injuries. Her fiance takes her back to China after she recovers and after he recovers, and they go and they start living their life again. Granted, she has no idea who she is, what she was doing, her relationship with Oh How, nothing. So she goes back to their house in China and they're living together, and he's still taking care of her. And something just seems off the first episode. Like, you don't know what it is because you also like don't know if she's actually the real person either, which is what I'm liking about this. Now, on one hand, you have Victoria Sung's character who might be his fiance. You don't know because the only thing they confirmed is her passport photo. So is she actually his fiance? You don't know that, right? And then you have Oh How, who seems nice. He seems very like caring for her and everything, but there's something off with him that you already detect in the first episode that you don't know what that is, especially with like the first scene that you see in the episode. And I'm not going to reveal that because that was really like, oh god, but there's just something that's off and you don't know what it is. You're not sure what's going on. And the entire show is she completely doesn't remember anything. So she's finding things, she's getting messages sent to her through a window, or she's like encountering her dog and she doesn't like dogs, but she had owned a dog before the accident. A bunch of little things that you're like doubting her identity, you're doubting him, you don't know what's going on. So that was basically the first episode, is the accident, their recovery, getting back to China, and then all these little things start popping up of like, okay, that's weird. I like that setup a lot because now I'm intrigued because I have all these questions I want answered. And that's kind of what you want. I'm curious, is Oh How gonna be a villain, or is he actually a good guy? Is there another player that's happening? Is she actually who she says she is, or did they find the wrong person? Who are these people sending messages to them? Like, all these questions have popped up after episode 1. I'm glad I clicked play on this because I've been wanting to watch this for a really long time, but at the same time, I'm like, Caitlin, you have so many other dramas you need to watch. Why did you click play on this? So that was Lover Stranger. Again, I've only watched the first episode. I'm really liking it so far. I have so many questions, but that's what you want. That's what you want when you have a crime drama. I'm watching this, I think, on Viki, but you can also watch it on iQIYI, I think. And the last C-drama I'm going to be talking about is The Secret Path. This is one I also recently started. I watched the first episode. I was really in the mood for a spy drama, and I saw that this one had just premiered, and I decided to click play on it because I was just in the mood for a spy drama. And this is airing on iQIYI. It ends in 2 weeks, I think. This stars Gao Yong. Gao Xuanyan. I know I'm probably mispronouncing that. She's the main female lead. We have Edward Zhang, who's the main male lead. And then we have a bunch of people in the supporting cast like Cheng Tai Shen, Wang Xiao Chen, Zhang Wen Guan, among others. This is a spy drama. You have Edward Zhang's character. He is like a deputy director of the National Security Department in China, and he and his team become embroiled in this conspiracy involving an international spy organization. So they didn't infiltrate this, but somebody came into China and tried to steal some information, and they discovered that it was a foreign spy organization trying to infiltrate and get information from China. So now he and his team is trying to figure out who is doing this. And on top of that, through them discovering this organization, they discover that they might have a like leaking state secrets problem. And then also they were, at least this is in the first episode, they were witness to an accidental assassination. This organization killed the wrong guy. So now they have a foreigner was targeted on Chinese soil. He didn't die, but the other guy did. And so now they're trying to figure out like who's targeting this foreign person as well at this like foreign nations conference that they were trying to avoid anything happening at it, and of course it did. Along that path too is you have the female lead Gao Yuan's character show up at this conference, and they realize that she somehow is involved in all this, and you don't know what, and you don't know how. Among all of this stuff that they are discovering, he now has to hunt down this woman and figure out what the hell is going on. It was intriguing. It was a lot of parts to kind of follow along. And it took a little bit to get into the first episode. I definitely liked the end of the episode more than the beginning because you kind of had to figure out everything. One thing that really stood out to me as a bad thing, but this is not uncommon when it comes to Chinese dramas, let alone Asian dramas, is because this was a foreign conference, there were actors that needed to come in to speak English. And we know there's a reputation in Chinese dramas, let alone Asian dramas, that whoever they bring in don't do a good job in terms of the acting department. And that's the same when it comes to this. It was not good acting. But like also what was hilarious is these people were introduced as European countries. They didn't say what European countries, but they just said the representatives of these European countries are here. But the dubbing had an American accent, so that kind of threw me off. I was like, wait, these people are supposed to be European, and yet the dubbing has an American accent. That threw me off a lot. That kind of threw me out of the story a bit. And so I don't really know. I'm like gonna continue this right now. I'm curious if I watch a couple more episodes, how I'll feel about it. Because again, I was sort of in a mood for a spy drama. I really wanted that. I just don't know if I'm going to continue this. If I'm still feeling iffy about it after like episode 3, I might drop it. I like Edward Zhang, but I don't know. There was just something off with it. Can't really put my finger on it, but there was something that was like, oh, okay, I could drop this because I'm enjoying other things, but I'm also curious about it. Especially with the female lead and her relationship with everything, because she was mysterious. She's a mysterious woman that popped up at this conference when somebody got assassinated. I don't know about the secret path. I'm curious about it, but at the same time, not enough things happened in episode 1 that got me like super excited to watch episode 2, especially compared to some of the other dramas that I recently started. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure this is going to go on a back burner a little bit to make room for other dramas or even finish some other dramas, but we'll see. If I don't go back to it, maybe I'll just drop it for now. But currently, I do plan to continue it, which is why it's on my current watch list. Also, if you are curious about my more in-depth first impressions of The Secret Path, Love and Pavilion, and A Life for a Life, I did do a YouTube video on it to go more in depth on those first impressions. So you can go ahead and watch that if you're more curious about that on the blog's YouTube channel. All right, and the last thing I'm currently watching, or is on my current watch list, I shouldn't say I'm currently watching it, is the anime My Happy Marriage Season 2. I have made no progress on this. I haven't dropped it, but it definitely has been on the back burner while I finish other dramas and animes. I hope to finish this by the end of May. That's the goal. We'll see if that happens. I just need to find the time and complete it. And as I said at the beginning of this episode, I literally have been social every day this month so far. I just literally have not watched anything. And I would be so much further in some of this stuff if I actually was watching something in the last 10 days. So that's where we're at with My Happy Marriage. I'm not dropping it yet, but I also have made no progress on it. All right. That is all of my current watch list. We have arrived at the end of what I'm currently watching. So naturally, as we move to the end of the episode, I'm going to talk about some of the dramas I plan to add to my current watch list soon. We have 3 Korean dramas that are going to be premiering in May, and I plan to click play on these 3 dramas. Hopefully, I can watch them as they air, so I'm not overwhelmed. I know one of them, all the episodes are dropping. There's no way I'm going to be binging it, but I want to watch it. We have Dear Hung Rong. That's coming out on Netflix next week, I want to say. Maybe a week from now. I can't remember, but that is the drama with EJ Wook, and it's on Netflix, and it's me dropping all the episodes. There's 9 Puzzles. That's going to be on Disney Plus on May 21st, I think. It's a crime drama that I think is going to be 2 episodes a week. And then lastly, the airing Korean drama that I want to click play on is Good Boy. That is on Amazon Prime. I'm curious about this one because it is the Olympic athletes are turned into a special unit for the cops to hunt down violent criminals. It's like a sports drama turned into a crime drama. But it also has a little comedy, which I'm a little iffy on because me and comedy are very particular. But I like the cast. I like the idea of the Olympic athletes becoming cops. We'll see how that goes. Then I also plan on clicking play on Flower of Evil, not Flower of Email. Flower of Evil, this is a rewatch for me. I'm rewatching it for a podcast recording that I'm doing in a couple weeks. I've rewatched this like 4 times. It's one of my favorite crime Korean dramas. If you have not seen Flower of Evil, please go watch it. It's amazing. It's so good. Look forward to that episode coming on the podcast soon. And then I also plan on starting Medical Examiner Dr. Chin, The Survivor. I know I've mentioned this in a past episode that I want to start this because I have podcast episode plans that I need to watch this for. And then recently, the last thing I'm going to mention, recently I put a review of Solo Leveling out on the YouTube channel for the podcast, and somebody recommended that I watch Kaiju number 8. That's an anime, and I think season 2 is coming out sometime this summer. I've had this on my list for a while to watch. I know someone on the Certified Nunas has also watched this, and so the fact that someone told me to go watch it, I feel like I need to go watch it, especially with season 2 coming out. And so if I like season 1, I might as well watch season 2. I want to start that as well, but again, I need to finish My Happy Marriage first. I don't want to start another anime without finishing the one I'm currently watching, or I'll never go back and finish it. So once I finish My Happy Marriage, I do want to start Kaiju number 8 and maybe even like watch season 2, not when it airs. I'm not watching any more anime as they air, but that's another one. Also, this was written underneath my Solo Leveling review as like, if you like Solo Leveling, you should check out Kaiju number 8. So if anybody's looking for something to watch after Solo Leveling, this might be a good option according to the comments that I'm getting on YouTube. I don't know. That's what I plan to click play on and add to my current watch list in the near future. There's many others that I obviously plan on clicking play on. We'll see what I do, what I actually watch and what I complete, because there's some from 2 months ago that I said I was going to. There's some dramas from last year that said I was going to click play on that I haven't yet. There's just so much stuff all the time. That's the end of the episode. That is my current watch list. I hope you guys have heard me talk about something you're interested in watching, or you plan to check out, or you're already watching. Please, if you're currently watching something that I'm currently watching, DM me, comment, let me know what you think. Do you agree or disagree with my opinions, first impressions, whatever, on whatever I am watching? Thank you for listening to another episode. Bye. If you want to continue the conversations about dramas that were started in this episode, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky under the username NoSleep4Dramas. That is no sleep, the number 4 dramas, just like in the title of the podcast. This podcast is also an expansion of my blog, so you can visit my blog at www.NoSleep4Dramas.com, the number 4 dramas.com, and find multiple years of blog posts already available at your fingertips. All links are in the description of this episode. Finally, please give this podcast a like or a follow wherever you listen to the podcast. Leaving a comment or a review also helps a lot. We love hearing ideas and feedback from all of you. Share the podcast with your friends as well. Thank you for listening. This has been an episode of the No Sleep for Dramas podcast, and I am your host, Caitlin. I will see you here next time, and I hope you get no sleep chasing the next episode just like me. Good night.